I'm Evonnee Bentley-Holder. I play Tammy Terrell, Mama Rose, and Flo Bollard.
And I am Sadie-Jean Shirley, and I play Mary Wilson and Johnny May.
Brilliant. So let's start off at the beginning for you guys then. What was it like for you as kind of young girls kind of getting into the theatre industry, and kind of what barriers did you have?
That's a big question.
Big question. Yeah.
So I think I came at musical theatre from a dance kind of route to begin with. The first place where I kind of got that really big experience of dance was with the youth company I used to dance with, called National Youth Dance Company, when I was like 16. And that was the first time like I'd been on a massive stage of that size. And the first time I really felt like, okay, this is what professional life is like. And maybe that's definitely something I want to do. And then I went on to train at Bird. And then from there, got into the industry. Barriers. I guess I was one of the first year groups at the school I was in where they accepted a lot more, had a lot more diversity in the accepting. I think there's a lot of barriers in musical theatre, like a lot of industries. Financial was a big one. I was very lucky to be on a course where they offered a degree in musical theatre and dance. That's why I was able to go. If not, it becomes a very difficult situation for a lot of people to access financially. And I guess also culturally, from my background and my family, I was the first person to do this kind of artistic, creative pathway. So yeah, normally it's more academic side. So going against the grain in that way was a bit difficult, but a good thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm very similar. I started on more of a dance path. I think my mum was just like, oh my God, how can we just stop this child from moving about and just annoying everyone? Nothing's changed, so it didn't really help. But yeah, so similar to Evonnee, did sort of like youth courses, youth classes. I went to Rambert as a youth. I went to like, your Stagecoach, places like that. I'd say the place that really helped me was my dance school called 𝗘𝗺𝗶𝗹 Academy. Fantastic dance school, fantastic teaching, which then sort of pushed me into Brit School. Not pushed me, but sort of led me to Brit School. And then I went to a university, a performing arts university. I left there early and luckily went straight into my first show, so in the West End, which was incredible despite the barriers. Again with Evonnee, I was the first person to go to uni. Again, it was a financial thing, so I was lucky that I was offered a scholarship. Same as Evonnee, there was degrees offered. So there's always, even if you think you can't, there's always, the barrier can get knocked down in that sense when it comes to financial struggles, and there's always a way. It's just about finding a way and doing everything you can to, keep moving forward with that, and hopefully either get that scholarship, get that funding. And again, not to repeat myself, but same as Evonnee, we are in the same year group at school. We've got a lot of mutual friends. And I think we were in the year group that did start introducing
more black students, more diverse students. And it was a good thing.
It was a good thing, but it comes with its challenges, it comes with its obstacles, because you're entering a space where they aren't used to having that many people of colour in a school. They aren't used to certain situations that may affect a person of colour that may not affect everyone else that has normally attended their school. So you had the support of others, but you also sometimes felt that barrier was that you felt a little left out. You felt, where do you fit in? But with the help of others and with the help of educating yourself, you find your way and you find your feet. And we still have challenges every day. You still learn every day.
Every day is a school day.
Yeah, without making it too deep. Yeah.
I think really good point there. And even at college level, but even if I think back to when I was really little going to dance school, the likelihood of seeing another black girl in dance class was very slim. I was
Especially
so
in ballet
lucky.
class.
100%. I was so lucky. Like, the only reason I went was because my older sister went, and I literally was her shadow, and I do everything she did. So I was lucky to have her there. But I think representation is such a big thing. Seeing someone, I think there was one older black girl in the dance school, just having her there to see, oh, so if I keep going, I can get to that grade. Or even get even further on in life, seeing on the stage a black lead. Okay, I can get to that point. It's nice to have that vision, that physical representation of someone doing what you want to do.
I think if I can say for both of us, we both teach. And I think within that, there is that sort of small percentage of it where we're like, we do this so that people that look like us
know it can be done.
And it's completely possible. It's completely, like, we didn't have that. I remember, I think the first sort of any sort of representation, and this might be a controversial comment, but the only representation I really saw was 𝗘𝗺𝗶𝗹 painted green, and not knowing what color she was and where she came from. And that was one show that really stood out to me. And I was like, oh, I want to do this is what I want to do. I want to be able to be that person, like you just said, that person on stage and go, there's a little kid there, and that kid has not seen a person of color yet, or someone that looks like her or him or them. And yeah, that means a lot. And I think just even saying it out loud, it's made me go, okay, that's going to bring some joy into my show today. Like, so yeah.
And you both kind of pulled on the fact of, like, you know, financial struggles, and we're diverting a little bit here, but I definitely think that we're going through this living crisis, and a lot of your communities are heavily affected by that. So do you think that's going to have a huge impact on them accessing things like, you know, training and opportunities because of that?
I guess so, yeah. I'm trying to think, because before doing this job, I taught a lot of little kids or school-aged children, and I'm just trying to think about the demographic of the class. I think maybe race plays a part. I think the area you're teaching in plays a part.
Yes.
The economic status of that area totally plays a part. Probably just as much as, probably maybe the same amount as race. I think it depends on the area you're from sometimes and the opportunities given to you. And I'm hoping that people know what's happening. I know a lot of dance schools are small businesses, so they can't afford to let out so many scholarships. But hopefully from this, in times of general adversity, you do find more charities putting out money or work or things to help people in order to access these opportunities. I really hope so. I don't know if I'm being too optimistic in saying that.
No, I think you're right. And myself, and I know a few of my friends, like, especially with dance schools that I attended or places I attended, I'm very open to offering my time. For example, the Brit School, I will offer my time till the end of time, because they did so much for me, and they offer a space of safety. And I think if you ever ask anyone, maybe 1%, I don't know the 1%, but if you ask anyone that goes there, they speak so highly of that school. So I will forever be in debt to them, and I will forever offer my time for free to be able to, as we were saying earlier, show younger people of all races, colours, gender, that you can get here. And if my words or me teaching a class can do that and push that forward, and I'm not getting paid for it, that's more of a reward for me. And I know that's very corny, but and same with my dance school, I always offer my time for free. Obviously we have to make a living as well, so there are some, you know, in most instances that's not what I can offer, but when I can, like for example being in a show now, I am happy to offer that. I will, and especially when it comes to, you know, areas that are less diverse or certain people that can't afford those things and stuff. So yeah,
brilliant stuff. So now obviously you're both in Ain't Too Proud, so what kind of drew you to wanting to be a part of this musical?
The music for me, I think it's the dance of brain as well. Just the music's so good. Like, how did I not know the Temptations had this many hits? I recognize the songs, I didn't realize they were all theirs. You can't help but want to dance, and I am so envious of the boys in this show. They are amazing. The dancing they do is amazing. The choreo is amazing.
We learn it at the side of stage.
Literally, we're in the wings trying to dance.
Trying to figure it out.
it's just so joyful. It really is, like, soulful music.
Yes, yeah. For me, it was, I've always wanted to work with Sergio and with Des. So Des is our director and Sergio is our choreographer. So for me, it was a dream. It was, again, corny, but it was a dream come true. It was like, I have to do the show. I have to work with these people. Sergio's choreography, as you just said, is just beyond incredible. I mean, it's hard. It's hard, and Sergio works you hard, but yeah, he gets the best out of you. And if and when you watch the show, you will see how incredible it is. So yeah, that's what drew me. But of course, the music was.
I have to say, like, I've never done a show before based upon people's real life stories. So to be able to do that is so amazing, and to research people who were actually alive and be able to play them and honor them in that way is so important. We even met Otis Williams. He is that's incredible. Incredible, and their families, and it's just so lovely to be able to honor them and honor their friends, because basically they're telling the life stories of their friends.
And you have to remember that sometimes as well. Like, there are moments where we would have had, like, there's only four girls who are in the show. There's 6 of us, but there's 4 of us that are downstairs, and you know, we have a lot of spare moments, so we're chatting, we may be like having a bit of a banter and laughing, and then we'll be walking up to go to a not to ruin it, but a funeral, and you kind of have to go, okay, snap out of it, because this actually happened to someone. Or, you know, different sections in the show will they'll hit you in a different way, and you have to remember that they are someone's life, and they really happened.
Yeah, and they really did change the world. The music world, also the integration of the USA. So and that in turn affects us today, even here in the UK. It's incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
We got to see them live as well.
Yeah.
We saw them at the O2, which was really, really fun.
Cool. Nice. And obviously, for a lot of people, the music in this is obviously very Motown. It's kind of based around that time, and it was a very, like, highly influential for a lot of people, that music. I mean, I remember hearing it with my mum singing it very badly. And I remember hearing that music. So can you kind of resonate with that yourselves? Have you kind of heard that music before and gone, wow, it's so nice to kind of put this on stage for people that...
Yeah, and hear the different... Kenny's done some incredible arrangements that just brings the song to life in a new way. And there's some songs that are just sort of done in situ, and then there's some songs that are sort of telling the story of what the character is feeling at that very moment. So yeah, like for me, my girl, my grandma, she used to sing that to me all the time, and we lost her just after COVID, and she means and meant the world to me. So just hearing that every night, I feel like she's with me. So I think for me, that's obviously a special little thing that I hold on to. And Once in My Life as well, that's another song she used to sing to me. So I can only imagine there's people coming to see the show that have small little tiny moments within the show that mean so much to them, or something that just, oh, I remember when I did this. Or you get people at stage still that are like, I remember when I met David Ruffin, and I'm like, oh my God, I wasn't even alive. Like, that's incredible. Or people that have, oh, I danced that song at my wedding. And so there's definitely connections.
Yeah, memories connected to different songs for different people. It means different things to different people, which I guess is the best thing. And I tried to count the other day how many songs were actually in the show. I think there's 33.
Aren't they? No.
Oh, they're on this side, I think there's 33. I did count. And that's quite a lot of music for a show. So it's a difficult job to jam pack all of that in, but they've done it in such a great way. Honestly, it's really great. Am I right?
There's 27 on here, but I think you're right, because there are
because the Supremes medley. I'm going to say the Supremes medley makes up another couple.
Yeah, 27, 28, 29, 30. Yeah, I'm going to go for it.
So I think, this musical is very heavily based on the stories of the Temptation, but there is their female influences in there that really come through strong as well. So how do you think that kind of impacts on the overall story of the Temptations in this musical?
I think with the women in this musical, with the Supremes, we hold kind of, at the number one spot. They're the place where the Temptations want to get to. It's kind of like the women are kind of the pushing force for the men. I know obviously they have their dreams, but they're chasing the Supremes, their position at one point. Mama Rose has to allow her son Melvin to join the group. Without the women, in some respects, things wouldn't have happened. Yeah,
story doesn't move along.
They need women.
Yeah,
let's listen to parallels to real life. And it's nice to see women shown in such a strong light. Because I think in a lot of musicals, we have the kind of damsel in distress, or we see the kind of, or in film and TV, the princess kind of version of a woman. And in this, we have different women that show different versions of what a woman can be, which I think is really nice.
Yeah, I think there's lots of different levels. Like you kind of start off with, am I the first woman that appears on stage?
You are, when you grab the jacket, like, bam.
Yeah, so I'm the first woman that appears on stage as a character, as a part. And if you've seen the show, I'm coming on with presents. I'm not, and it's a whole scene where there's just two of us on the stage. And, you know, there's a clear power dynamic. And, you know, how Evonnee just said, you know, women make the world go round. And it's living proof there, because I've got the power, and I have to, you know, Safiso who plays Otis Williams, is just out of this world when it comes to his acting. He is mind-blowing, and to be able to act opposite him as well is just a joy and so exciting, because he just brings new things every day. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to play that dynamic and play that power and play the hierarchy. And I think that goes for everyone, because, and even when covers or swings are on, you know, or you're in a rehearsal with someone different, you can feel that there's a completely different underlying storyline going on. And yeah, it's really exciting to play those women. And
it's nice.
Yeah,
you have women in, because you've got Johnny May, the manager of the Temptations to begin with. She's in that position of power. She runs the shop. She's getting the shows done. Then you have Tammy, who's a star in her own right. She didn't need to be with David, but they were together, and you have a little bit of a love story there, which is we do see bits of love. We do, because we have Josephine and Oath as well. But it's nice to see kind of outward love, you know, loud love.
But I think you see different types of love.
Yeah, true.
You see different types of love, because you see love in its worst form. You see love in its best form. You see love of your children, love of your family. Yeah, you see lust. Yeah,
love of music.
Puppy dog. Love of music. There's so many different types of love, and I think that runs through the story.
And it's so linked, I think, to the women, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe not, I guess the love of music is still with the women.
And I mean, if you meeting Otis and Shirley, they have love running through their veins. You can tell they just want the best for everyone around them, and they're just so warm and kind. So that's definitely transposed over to the show.
Definitely. And I think what's really nice about this production as well is that, you know, there's so much going on, but they make sure that you are able to acknowledge that what was happening outside that studio.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people forget that all of this was happening outside. So what is it like to kind of bring that forward and make that a real key part of the story as well?
All I can think of when you said that was Rain. I don't know if you've seen it, but Rain is the scene. So just the Temptations just find out that Martin Luther King has died. Yeah. And to think of the fact that this happened in real life, obviously we all know about Martin Luther King and him dying, but them as musicians being there at the same time and how it affects them and the world and where they're from is just so poignant, and it has to be respected when we try to, I guess, act it through that whole song and that whole section. I don't know whether that answers your question. Actually,
yeah, definitely. You know, I think it was really hard hitting because I have been to see it, and you know, it feels like you're not trying to ignore what was happening, because I think a lot of people kind of talk about it in conversation, or you kind of, if you know the era, you kind of understand what's going on. But I think Ain't Too Proud does a really good job of going, actually we need it at the forefront. It's happened, and we're keen to talk about it and make it obvious.
Because if we think about it, it does affect their lives. As Black men, of course it would affect their lives. It's the same with the bus journey, and when they're going into the South, and you blatantly hear the segregation and the discrimination that's still there, that followed them even when they're stars. It's something they can't escape. Which I think is good for the audience to know. It's an education for us as well, to remember we look at how far we've come, because I think in my mind, oh, it's so long ago. But the 60s really aren't. My mum was a child in the 60s. Yeah. It's not that far removed from us now. And it's the same with Ball of Confusion, the Vietnam War. That's, again, another piece of history I've learned more about over the course of this show, which I'm glad to have learned more about. It's good to honour those historical events, which definitely did feed into their music and them as people as well.
Yeah. And if you could delve into a different character from the Motown era, who would you choose?
Oh, different character from the Motown.
Male or female?
In the show?
Yeah, or just in general, if there's anyone that you kind of listen to it in like Motown, or you know what, that you would love to have really delve into.
Obvious.
Is it Stevie?
No, my obvious would be Michael Jackson.
Of course.
that for me would just be the you can't get better than that.
Iconic.
You can't get better than the Jacksons.
The king of pop.
I'm getting goosebumps. You can't get better than that. And Shirley told us some really cool stories about Michael, and you go, he was just another little guy that had a dream and wanted to be a performer. And, obviously, as we were talking about barriers and, obstacles and stuff earlier, he had that. But that doesn't take away from how incredible the music was. And to bring it back to the show, David Ruffin, what a talent. Obstacles, challenges, demons. And, Sophisa says this, Otis Williams as the character says this, he had his demons, but my God, was he talented. And I think that speaks for all attempts, speaks for every single one of them. Like, they are incredible individual performers, but as a group, just phenomenal, outstanding. Yeah.
It's hard to pick one. I feel like there's so many. I feel like I'm so interested in Marvin Gaye as a person, as well as a musician. I feel like there's a little bit of mystery there. And musically, he's insane, but just as a person as well, I think his morals and so interesting.
I'd love to see a Supremes musical as well. That would be so cool, because I think there's Diana specifically is so interesting, but then again, the stuff that Shelley's told us about Mary, and I'm like, wow,
and Flo,
there's just so much.
There's more we need to learn about these characters.
Yeah.
Well, not even characters, as people that you don't have time to fit in this musical right now.
No, definitely not. So for those people who haven't seen Ain't Too Proud yet, what can they expect from it?
Beautiful music, beautiful singing, and being hit in their feels. But it is that. You do get hit in your feels. In your feelings. Yeah.
Soul, passion, excitement, laughter.
Yes,
it's funny. The show is funny. And the way the boys are bringing the characters to life is also highly amusing in all the right ways. Like, they're so good. And just joy and memories. I would say memories, like, you will leave
feeling like part of the Temptations.
Yeah.
They bring you along with them. You get friendship, you get brotherhood, and it's so nice and uplifting.
And the way our show ends as well is just iconic.
Definitely. And one final question then for you both. If you were able to tell your younger self about Ain't Too Proud, and there was younger people that were like, is this a musical that I'm going to see myself in? Would you say that to them?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Keep working hard. Keep believing in yourself. Yeah, believing in yourself is what is going to get you to where you need to get, and it will happen.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.